Hello. Today I wanted to talk about living with lupus, and I have had lupus for over 20 years, since I was diagnosed with it since I was 15 years old. And for me, when I first found out I had lupus, I actually had to spend about 3 or 4 days in the hospital while they ran tests and did diagnosis. But I was so anemic when I went in the hospital, I couldn't even walk actually. But anyway, it's been quite a journey, and at this point in my life where I'm married, I have 2 kids and a career, I've had to learn to do certain things so that I can maintain a healthy lifestyle, with lupus, and still live my life and not let it define my life. But I've had to definitely do certain things a little differently than maybe others have. And so, I've had 2 major bouts with lupus. Once when I was 15, when I was first diagnosed, and then the other time when I was 25. And that time I actually had kidney involvement, and had to have to go on chemo for that. And that was a pretty stressful time, but I got through it, thank God. And that's how I know there is a God, because he brought me through that, and I'm here today to tell the story. And so so basically, I've had really 2 major illnesses. For the most part, my lupus stays in remission. I think that in the winters it bothers me sometimes, and I will get the joint pain and stiffness. I have what's called systemic erythematous lupus, and I'm probably pronouncing that. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong actually, because I know how it's pronounced, but the words is not slipping out of my mouth. But basically, my lupus affects it affect any organ or system in your body. And for systemic lupus, the lupus usually likes to attack for some reason, your kidney and your brain. Lupus basically is an autoimmune disease. And what happens is your autoimmune system is in overdrive, and so your body cannot distinguish between, I guess, healthy tissue and systems and unhealthy, and so it will start to attack healthy tissues and systems in your body. And so that's what happens with lupus. It mirrors a lot of different diseases, and it causes a lot of the symptoms run the gamut. And everybody with lupus is a little bit different in terms of how their lupus plays out. So for me, those have been the major things. I've had joint pain and swelling, chronic fatigue, anemia, and the kidney problem have been the major issues I've had with lupus. I've never had the rashes that some people have gotten. But I guess basically I'm here to more so talk about how do I stay healthy with lupus? How do I try to maintain my health? And I've learned a few things along the way about how to stay healthy. One of the big things is I pray a lot. And I depend on God to give me the grace and strength that I need. But other practical things that I do in addition to praying is, one of the main things is rest. Because for me, my lupus, a big part of it is chronic fatigue that I battle on a regular basis with my lupus, and it will take me out. And sometimes I'm full of energy, and usually those times when I'm full of energies, I get as much done as possible. And I guess that's one of the things I want to leave people with, is that if you have lupus, or if you know someone who has lupus, it's like the person looks healthy, but they may not be feeling healthy. and they may not actually be healthy. And that's one of the, I guess, deceptive things about lupus. So basically, is to get adequate rest. And what I try to do is I set a certain time for myself when I have to go to work, when I'm going to go to bed, and I try to stick to that time. I try to, let's say, an hour or half an hour before that time, I try to shut all exterior noises outside. So I try not to be on the phone, be on the computer. I try not to have the TV on. I just try to kind of get my brain and body to kind of quiet down so that I'm getting my body ready for rest. And so I try to do rest is, I think, you know, one of the number one things I try to do to stay healthy with lupus is to get adequate rest, which means sometimes I turn down invitations to go places and do things, and I think sometimes it's hard for family and friends to understand why I'm limited, but I do limit myself because I know that if I overdo myself, the chronic fatigue will hit me and I will, you know, end up having a little bit of a flare up. So that's one of the main things. Time management is another big one for me, and I think it goes hand in hand with rest, is that I need to, I have a planner. I schedule myself in terms of what I can do and what I will do for the day. At the beginning of the day, I make a list of the things that I need to do. Sometimes I don't always get to everything. It comes to a point where I realize when I'm getting to that time where I've set for myself, when it's rest time, if I haven't gotten it done, it will get done. It just won't get done that day. And so that's how I live my life. You know, I'm not overextending myself, making sure I have a day on the weekend. I try to make Sundays my day where I'll just go to church and cook dinner and try not to have too many things that I plan for myself to do, that or places to go. Saturdays I'll do my running around and errands so that Sunday I can really focus on resting and getting my body ready for the next day of work. The other thing is exercise is a big one for me. And with me, with my lupus, my knee joints tend to hurt a lot, and I'm not sure if that's my lupus so much. I think it's a combination of my lupus and also I have loose joints, so I tend to have problems with that anyway. But so my exercising is mostly mild to moderate exercising I do. So I try to walk daily, at about 30 minutes a day, and then every other day I try to do some light weights. And so that just adds to my energy level, and it just adds to my strength also. Another big piece, lastly for me but not least, is nutrition. I have really shifted in the past couple of years to eating more organic foods. I don't eat all organic, I'm not going to pretend like I do, and I don't eat all healthy. But I try to make the ratio of healthy food to unhealthy food. I try to make the ratio of healthy food much higher and maybe limit my ratio of unhealthy food to maybe 10 or 20% of what I eat, and make 80% or more. So I try to give myself a B+ or more of eating healthy foods, which includes a lot of vegetables and fruits, and trying to drink half my body weight in water a day. I take a lot of vitamins. I find that fish oil is a good oil. It's supposed to be good for anti-inflammatory and your heart, and so I take extra fish oil. I do vitamin D for my bones and calcium and a multivitamin. I have done some holistic treatments to help me with my lupus, and I have found that beneficial. And other ailments I've had, I've used that for. Obviously, I stick with my Western medicines. There are certain prescribed things that the doctor gives me that I have to take, but I think those are the top things that I try to do: my rest, time management, exercise, nutrition, and after that, I just pray and leave it all in God's hands. And I know He'll take care of the rest. I guess I would leave you with you know, a Bible scripture which tells you that, you know, I try not to fret or worry about anything, because stress also can bring your lupus about. So I try to remember that, you know, the word says that, you know, Do not be fretful or anxious or worried or troubled about anything, but in everything with thanksgiving and by prayer and petition, I bring it to the Lord. And then the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will be with you. And that's basically how I live my life. My life is definitely not stress-free or trouble-free, but I remember that Bible verse anytime I do feel stress or trouble coming on, because, my fretting doesn't change anything. And so I just, at that point, once I've done all I can do, I just pray and I leave the rest to God. Thank you. I hope you find this helpful. Bye.